Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to bring you along with me as I finish up flipping some of my thrifted finds. You'll see me using a really adorable glue gun today. This is a Hippo cordless glue gun, and I want to say thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. I'll show you a little more about this glue gun here shortly, but if you are new here, I just want to remind you, you can find all of my finds and flips and the products I use over on my website, upcycledbybri.com. This glue gun is linked down in my Amazon shop below, which is down in the description box. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it out with a friend. Now that we've got all of that out of the way, let's get to crafting. I had a few of my to-be painted rolling pins sell on my website, so I grabbed them all to do some batch painting. This is DIY Aviary, my favorite green, and I've got a Klingon R12. This is a smaller round brush, and if you haven't used DIY paint before, it is a clay-based paint, which is very thick and highly pigmented, which is giving me some great coverage, as you can see. This customer's second request was actually a custom mix I did of Cherry Picked and French Millinery, both colors by DIY Paint. Now, I had mixed it up originally in this little container. It has sat for a while, but it dried out. So I just went and added some water and stirred it up, and look how this paint just reconstituted itself. So that is an amazing thing about this DIY clay-based paint. Now, I've got some in here that's really thick and chunky. You can see it. I'm going to use it here on some scrap pieces of wood to form some really good chippy chunky layers on my signs. So don't let any of that paint go to waste, y'all. Don't be greedy. It's liquid gold. Okay, you know when y'all find these rolling pins at the thrift store and they feel loose like this? Here's a little tip. You just need to take a hammer and tighten them back up. Ta-da! The clay-based paint does a really great job at sticking to just about anything. So I'm putting on one nice thick coat and letting it dry. Once it's dry, you can see it has lightened up a little bit, and that is just the nature of the paint. I'm giving it a light distressing with some 220 grit sandpaper to antique it up, and then I'm gonna go in with my DIY clear wax. If you haven't used the clear waxes or the DIY waxes before, they are amazing. So this is clear. I'm going to start with a coat of that. That's going to seal up the clay paint. Notice it gets darker again. As it dries, it will lighten back up. Putting the clear wax on first is going to also provide a barrier before I do my dark wax. That way the dark wax doesn't soak too deeply into the paint. The color you saw there was Gypsy Green, and then Apothecary. Here is the Aviary. That they all have a coat of the clear wax, I'm going in with dark wax. I like to add it with just a little old artist brush closer into the rolling pin to make it look like some grunge and food or, you know, whatever has built up there over the years to make it look like a real old antique rolling pin. I repeated that same method with all of the handles, and here is a look at them grouped together in my kitchen, staged up next to some beautiful old rustic kitchenware. What do y'all think? Drop me a comment down below. Do they look legit old now? For the next set of trees, I have cut down these pieces of crib salvage. I found this antique or probably vintage crib by the side of the road last night. Look at the amazing spindles I got out of it. And also, I found an abandoned treetop. This was last year, I promise. All that was at the curb was the top. I didn't just steal the top. But last night I went and I took it and I salvaged a bunch of really nice greenery off of it. When I picked it up, I like shook it out and made sure it wasn't dirty or anything. And I don't know if it was a broken tree or I don't know what happened. But I got all these great greenery pieces, so let's combine some vintage crib spindles and some upcycled tree greenery. Now, y'all be safer than me and take your wood pieces out to your vice grip, okay? Holding it in your hand is really not the safest way to do this, but I drilled holes down into each piece. I have 4 of these pieces, so I thought it'd be perfect to turn them into some little trees. I'm just gonna sand the base here. I've got some 60 grit sandpaper. This is the very bottom, just to kind of even out, make sure it will stand up straight and tall. A little bit where I got the cut. I don't want it to look perfect. I want it to look like salvage still. And then I've got my DIY dark decrepit dust. This is literally like a dust, a powder, and it's perfect for aging and giving a old antique feel. So I've got a little bit just on a brush here, and I'm gonna rub it right into that raw wood, and notice how it just helps that raw cut blend in so much better. These are my favorite kind of branches to use for little shabby chic trees. When you turn them upside down, look, notice how they look like a pine tree. So I've just got some wire cutters here. I'm gonna cut like right here at the top of this peak. That way, this has a little bit of a trunk now to stick down into my hole. So a little bit of hot glue down in there is all it takes. Place our tree down inside and hold it. I have a second. I wanted to show you the adorable little case that this comes in. It's pink. If y'all love pink, then you're really gonna love that. And it came with some fun popsicle sticks and a fun little kids craft. I'll probably end up doing that with Elena. Oh, what's this? What's that thing do? Let's look. It comes with a finger protector, a silicone pad. What's that for? Is that just to like smear my glue or whatever? Drop me a comment. Y'all are better crafters than me. I don't use the finger protector. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I should probably, but I can't deal when there's stuff on my hands. Okay, so I like to make these different sizes, stagger them a little bit. That looks about good to me. Yeah, I like that. I like that height. So cute. Drop me a comment and let me know if you've made any mini trees yet yourself this year. I'm standing here staging up my trees and everything and getting all of my inventory put away, but I did want to let y'all know that those crib spindles I have taken apart. They came out just beautifully and they are listed up just as is on my site. There are 11-inch and 14-inch spindles. These are great to like chop in half, then hang a little eye hook from them, and you can do icicles, paint them white, a little bit of like DIY silver lining making powder for some shine, you know what I'm saying? Or you can chop them up into little short pieces, little segments here, and make them into Christmas ornaments. So I love these during the holiday time. It was such a blessing to find this shape of spindle and so many of them so close to the holidays. So they're listed as is up on my site. I might have a few left over that don't end up selling off because I've got quite a few, 24 of the 11-inch and 12 of the 14-inch, it's a lot of numbers. Anyways, go check them out. I've got a lot. If there are a few left over that y'all don't snag up, I will try to get some of those projects done next week that I was just talking about. But I do have them on some old videos. So if you go back to last Christmas, you should be able to find them too. And you know what? I'm a YouTuber. I can just link those down below for you, if I remember. While I was batch painting with the aviary, I went ahead and painted up a couple of other things that I want to finish up with you guys. This tote has already sold, but I figured I could show you a stencil that I was going to put on it anyway. And that way y'all could have a demonstration of the JRV stencils. And if you want to purchase those to stencil your own tote, you can. These are the Apothecary Labels. I use JRV stencils. I don't wash mine after every single use. I don't need to. I usually stencil with the same colors, and that saves me from potentially disturbing the stencil when I'm washing it. But they are super thick, made to be used over and over again, so washing them is a real thing. I usually wash them every other time, but she makes them to be used over and over again, so they are really good quality. I've got a couple here. I'm trying to decide which one I want to use. This one fits nicely there at the bottom. But do I want it at the bottom? Maybe I want it at the top. Maybe I want it on the front. Yeah, let's go on the front. So play around and don't be afraid to mix and match your stencils. I do that all the time, constantly. My big ones and my small ones to make projects work. I grabbed a DIY little black dress, and I also have my JRV stencil brush. This is the 3/8 inch. This is the smallest one available, so it works really well on these tiny little letters. I'm gonna get just a tiny bit of paint on the tip of my brush here, and I'm actually gonna offload most of that paint down here onto a paper towel. So I've got barely any left. And then with a very light hand here, I'm not pressing down hard. I'm just gonna do a swirling motion over the holes in the stencil. This is a really great way to get lots of inventory done quickly. If you are crafting for a booth or a show or making gifts for the holidays. Final reveal. Dun, 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 dun. Oops. Okay, so that was way juicy right there. Slow down and take your time, and you see how good it can look. No worries, I'm gonna fix it. And by fix it, I just mean mess it up more. Heavy distress over that little area where I got a little crazy, right? I got a little crazy right there. And then light distress over the rest. I've got my same DIY clear wax, just an old worn out brush that's nice and long. That way I can get down inside here. I'm just gonna give the whole thing one nice even coat of clear wax. For the outside, I'm going to just use a paper towel here. I've got a Viva paper towel. They do good about not shedding. Just go over this one time real quick. That way I don't risk smearing it. The green's coming off a little bit where I sanded, but notice that black paint is not smearing around, so that is a good thing. Here's a picture of what the tote looked like before I got a hold of it, and a picture of it after. What a beautiful industrial farmhouse makeover. If y'all want to grab JRV stencils or brushes for yourself, hop on over to my site, upcycledbybri.com, and they will be in the JRV stencil collection. I thrifted these curtain rod holders. They are $19.95 for a set. They're already listed up on my site to be painted, so I wanted to get at least one of them done on this video today. I did paint one set in Aviary. They're already so much better, but now I want to use some nice waxes to bring out some of that detail. And I love to use these as bookends, and then you can place greenery through them. Oh, they're so pretty for staging. And the mechanisms still work on it, so of course you could use them as curtain rod holders as well. Here I've got white wax. Look at the beautiful creamy consistency, just like the clear. Makes it so easy to finish your projects. So I'm just going to use a smaller brush, get a little bit of wax out and put it on my lid. That way I don't turn my whole entire white container green. And I've got a chip brush here, just a cheap little chip brush. Not very much product, and we're just gonna go over some of the high points. Now, inevitably, it does kind of get everywhere, but I really want it to pop over the high points. I did not clear wax these, so notice how it's really soaking in to that clay-based paint. I'm gonna work in small sections, and as I go, I'm gonna wipe off some of that extra out of the low points. That way it still seals it up, but it also gives some good contrast. I am loving how the aviary is looking next to the red. It's very festive. drop me a comment and let me know if you would thrift curtain rod holders like this and use them for bookends. I hope y'all enjoyed coming along with me today and flipping some of my thrifted finds. If so, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, subscribe and click that notification bell to all so you don't miss any new videos. Big thank you again to Hippo for sending me this cordless glue gun. If y'all are in the market for a new one, check the description box down below for the link. Till next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye, friends.
No.
What are we doing, ma'am? I was working on that.
I can just have Alexa blast music right next.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Don't let her poop in.
All right, I'm still we've got some sunshine rays coming in here. I did not realize that. They're probably going to be in all of my intros, but that's fine. It's beautiful. It's been cloudy and rainy. I need the sunshine in my